Hello. Today I have got a review that I want to talk about, but it's not a book, not even a movie. It's a game I recently played that I have some feelings about that I need to rant about. So apologies in advance, I have a feeling this is going to be a slightly longer video. So the game I want to discuss is Tales of a Shire, which came out recently. So for those of you who have not who are not familiar with the game, let me give you some context. As you may have guessed from the name, it's Lord of the Rings-y, and it's a cozy game. So maybe if you know Stardew Valley or Fields of Mystria, it's essentially that, but Lord of the Rings edition. So what you do in the game is you are a little hobbit, you have a little hobbit hole, and you befriend the villagers, and so there's a main quest that you take on, which is you and the other villagers work together to sort of upgrade the village. There's an assessor who then decides, hey, you did a good job, stamp of approval, and you have 4 abilities, essentially, that you can level up. There is gardening, fishing, foraging, and cooking. And for all 4 of those, there is clubs, but I'll circle back to that in a moment. So I was super excited for this game to come out. I've played a lot of other cozy games. I've literally put over 600 hours into Stardew. So I think that tells you I like this kind of game. I played them a fair amount. I enjoyed them a lot. So obviously I was very excited when this game got announced, put it on my wishlist immediately, and I kept checking back when is it going to be released. And then the day was here and I was all excited, and then to be fair, I saw the price tag and I was slightly less excited about that. And actually I really did a double take on do I want to buy this now, because it was slightly more expensive than what I usually like to spend on a game, but I figured I've been so excited, I've been looking forward to this so much, I'm gonna go buy it. And I mean, it's not like super expensive, it's not like Elden Ring or whatever, but still. And this is actually where my biggest problem lies, but we'll get back to that. Because while I sort of enjoyed the game, I'm also very disappointed with it. And the problem mainly is that there is not nearly enough content in the game for the price tag it comes with. Let me elaborate on that. So if you're familiar with, Stardew or whatever, usually how these games work, because there's also a lot of farming involved, you work over the span of a whole year, and there's 4 seasons, and each season has a set amount of days. Then, you do a year and another year and whatever, for however long you play. So in this game, the first thing I noticed, the seasons are a lot shorter than, for example, in Stardew. Each season has, I don't remember right now, I think it's like 13 days thereabouts, so it's not super long. And as I said, there is the main quest line you start working on, and it took me not even a year, not even close to the first in-game year to finish that. So that was very easy to do and very quick to do. There are like lots of like little quests you have to do, and they're all extremely simple and extremely quick to do. There is no challenge whatsoever. Literally all the quests you can get takes like 2 minutes. Boom, poof, done. So you finish with that super quickly. Okay, so you have the main thing done. What are you left with now? Okay, so you can go befriend the hobbits. How does one do that? First of all, mainly the way to befriend hobbits is to have shared meals with them. As I said, there is a cooking ability, and like you gather the ingredients, you cook meals, and then per day, so there are different locations where you can have meals with the hobbits, and per day you can schedule 1 meal, and depending on the location, the max amount of hobbits you can invite at one time is 4. So essentially, I'll admit I sort of neglected the whole inviting them for meals and trying to level them up this way while I did the main quest line, because I don't know, slipped my mind. So I finished the main quest, and then that's what I started working on. Each day I would invite like 4 hobbits, because that's the max, I already mentioned that. made sure to cook the meals they wanted, because it gives you like a little info on like, hey, this hobbit is craving these 3 meals. So if you cook that for them, it gives you like a bonus or whatever. So you cook your meals the next day, you go have your meals with the 4 hobbits, and then it levels up their friendship bar. There's 10 friendship levels with each of the hobbits. Okay, so far, so good. Each time you manage to level them up, you unlock a new cooking recipe, which is nice. But that's sort of where the nice ends, because there's also not really a lot to each of the hobbits you're trying to befriend. There is not much conversation to be had. If I think, for example, of Stardew, there's a lot of villagers, and you talk to all of them. They have all a rather expensive like quest line. I'm gonna say, like, the way you like chat to them, find out more about them. I feel like in this game there is very little to be found out about each one of them, and it's exhausted really, really quickly, and then it's just repetitive. There is not really much point to having a conversation with them, because they don't really tell you much more after a certain point. And even after the meals, they just say the same thing over and over again. So if you cook something and you don't level anything up, they're just like, okay, thank you, bye. If you level them up, I already said you get a meal, but even when they present you with like the new recipe, they just say the same thing every time. So, trying to level them up is extremely repetitive, because it just feels like you're not getting anything out of that. And at certain stages of leveling up, you will unlock some things. For example, there is a carpenter in this game, this carpenter lady hobbit. And as I said, you have your little like hobbit hole, and you cannot access all areas of it right away. And as you level up your friendship with her, you will at certain points unlock more areas of your home, right? So for example, you unlock something, I think it was like level 3 and level 5, and then level 10. And the thing is, to get to level 5, it's really quick. It's really easy. You get to level 5 with all the hobbits super quick. And then essentially there is nothing until you hit level 10. And to get to level 10, it takes really, really long. I should say at this point, as I said, I had started with this like a little bit late. So, I was already gathering like good ingredients. I had complicated recipes and stuff available to me. But still, you don't get that much XP. And again, you can only choose 4 hobbits per day and feed them 1 meal. So this takes a while to level them all up. And then it's sort of, for what? Because let me actually stick with the example of the home expansions, because that was also something that was a little bit of a letdown for me. I want to circle back to Stardew for a second, because there you also unlock, home expansions, new rooms and stuff. But the way it is designed, you always see like your whole house and all the new areas, and you can use them for like, I don't know, storage or whatever. In Tales of the Shire, the thing is you unlock new rooms to your house, and you can decorate them, you can put stuff in them, but they have absolutely no use. There is no function to them. And the only way to even see the room would be to specifically walk there, like stand in the room and I guess enjoy the decorations. But that's it. So why on earth would you do that? So you have like 5 other rooms in your house that create essentially a bit of a labyrinth, that essentially you can cram them full of stuff, but they have no function. You can't even see them at any given time. You would specifically have to go seek them out, which makes just everything feel a bit pointless. That's a little bit how I felt with a lot of things in the game, if I'm being honest. But yeah, okay, so now we have the main quest done. That was super fast. Then you level up your hobbits. Okay, now I'm still left with the 4 abilities that I already mentioned at the clubs, and I'm trying to level them up all the way. And again, I have finished the friendships, I have finished the main quest, so kind of leveling those up now feels pointless, because with leveling them up you unlock certain things which at this point you don't need anymore. And I'm about to hit the time limit here, so I'm gonna do a part 2 to this review.